For our third video, we're going to be looking at page 8 in our reflection guide, where we look at lifestyle. And remember that the purpose of this reflection guide is to support our generosity initiative as we try to launch young adult ministry here in Churches in Harmony. And today we'll be looking at, as I said, page 8, the part about lifestyle. And lifestyle is a really interesting thing to think about as a Christian, because so often when we talk about faith, we think about it as like one part of our life. Like there's our faith, and there's our work, and there's our family, and there's all these other things that are all separate. But a thing that challenges us today is to realize that our faith is a lot larger than that. A great example of this would be Saul of Tarsus, who lived an entire life persecuting the Christians and as a rising star amongst the Pharisees in Jerusalem, and all of these things that he had done, and even getting permission to go and chase the Christians down as they fled to Damascus, until God appears to him on the road and blinds him and gives him a new purpose in life, changes his name to Paul and makes him into a missionary. And you might have to ask yourself, how much of Paul's life changes when Jesus appears to him on that road? You know, does it just change the part of his life that's his faith, or does it change every last part of his life, every aspect of who he was, every bit of his lifestyle and the things that he chose and the things he prioritized, the things that he was doing? Everything changed completely. And you can see this when Paul writes to the church, when he talks to other people about what their faith means and how it should change their lives and their lifestyles. Let me read for you a little bit what Paul writes to the Colossians, starting in chapter 3. If then you have been raised with Christ, seek the things that are above, where Christ is, seated at the right hand of God. Set your minds on the things that are above, not on the things that are on earth. For you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. When Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him in glory. And the point he's trying to make here is that your priority as someone who's been redeemed with Christ, who's died with him and will rise with him, that you should set your mind on the things above, that your priorities do change. And that it's not just to change a little bit over here and a little bit over there. He's saying it changes every aspect of your life, that whatever the things that you do, whatever parts of your lifestyle are out there, that every part of your life is changed by the faith that lives within you. And I'll jump ahead a little bit, and he goes through a whole list of different people and different situations and explains how your faith changes the way that you live. Starting in verse 18. Wives, submit to your husbands as is fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives, and do not be harsh with them. Children, obey your parents in everything, for it pleases the Lord. Fathers, do not provoke your children, lest they become discouraged. Bondservants, obey in everything those who are your earthly masters, not by way of eye service as people pleasers, but with sincerity of heart, fearing the Lord. Whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. For the wrongdoer will be paid back for the wrong he has done, and there is no partiality. Masters, treat your bondservants justly and fairly, knowing that you also have a master in heaven. So you see, Paul here talks about a bunch of different jobs and vocations in life, from being a servant to being a master, from being a father or a mother or a husband and a wife. But whatever it is that you find yourself doing, whatever part of your life you're doing, you're not doing it for that other person, that you're doing it for the Lord, right? That your entire life, your work ethic, the things that you think are important, the things that you think are worth doing, the things that you spend your time on, that you spend your money on, that you spend your effort on, all of these things you're doing for the Lord. And because you're doing it for the Lord, it changes every part of your life. That the things that you prioritize, the things that you care about, the things that you invest in, all of those sorts of things should change. Your whole life changes because of your faith. And so as you reflect today about our generosity initiative and what we're hoping to do for young adults, and how your lifestyle might support that sort of effort, be thinking about, how does your lifestyle reflect your faith? What is it like for young adults today trying to find community outside of, like work and school?
Well, I think a lot of the sort of institutions that fostered communities have kind of gone away. So like you see the loss of the church as a big institution in society, and there are some others. But I think when you lose those kind of institutions that aren't just sort of, we go to a bowling alley and bowl, right? There are still some of those things that are out there, but I think the communities that connect people who are interested in lots of different things have kind of gone away.
There's a lot being said right now about Gen Z or young adults and kind of like a loneliness crisis. Is that something that you've seen?
It is good to have friends online, and that can really, help your global perspective depending on where they live. But it is markedly different than those in person. And as those in-person kind of events have started to dwindle, we have put more emphasis on the online events, and that's really hurt a lot of people.
What happens to people when they start leaning on social media as like their entire social life?
For me, at least, I think I was looking to get out of, get out of just doing online things, but I never really felt like there was an opportunity, and maybe that was partially on me. But once I did, it just snowballed. I started doing these things, and those led to other things and stuff like that. So I think just getting people to take that step is really, really crucial to helping people, especially young adults, get out of their room and help the loneliness crisis, which definitely is a problem.
How do you think the church can facilitate this kind of institutional support for community building?
I think by creating diverse events. So supporting not just Bible studies, but also, events to go out and play disc golf or play soccer or something like that, that's in the sports realm, but also maybe a book club that is maybe church driven. So, reading some kind of church book like, the Confessions or Augustine or some of Luther's works. And by doing that, I think you can, diversify the events. And so it's not just I come here to do a book club or I come here to do a Bible study, but I come here for a community and we do things with the community.